Yes, yes, 1996, the carnival. Unity. Hey, 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 hey. Most definitely, most definitely. Hey DJ, yo, when you play it like that, you make it sound round and you make it sound fat. You make it sound blunt and then you make it sound sharp. You make it sound light and then you make it sound dark. You make it sound rough and you make it sound tough. You make it sound hard and you make it sound rough. I said
you've got this continued mix between black and white and between kind of working class and middle class kids. So you've got, working class estate in Bristol where, rave really became the most favoured music of that social grouping, and then jungle more or less took over from rave. You might think the jungle's coming from somewhere else, but for lots of people it just did what rave did, even better.
We unload the sound, the drum and bass. Who wants it? Who wants the drum and bass? Who wants it? Who wants it?
Jungle is drum and bass. Drum and bass, if you like, is a broader spectrum of music. It comes across from sort of floaty, kind of light, little rolling music, right across to the hard edge, rough jungle.
Well, kind of gave dance music kind of a kick on now. It was kind of after Saturday Night Fever and all that stuff. Yeah, it's kind of gone really, everything went really disco and really clubby. All the English bands were trying to sound like Americans, and hip hop came out, and English tried their own version of it. It sounded nothing like the Americans, and things kind of evolved from there. Right up through to rare groove, to house, to acid, to house, to where it's at now, drum and bass.
1931st century. Each of them we call about the elementary. Jump for your life, run, come show your energy. Listen to the sound of the damn right. You damn right. So don't play fly.
Dazee and Jake's together, they encapsulate what Ruffneck Ting is. It's a mixture of people. It's one black guy and one white girl. The Ruffneck Ting and the jungle vibes is about uniting of all types of people, boy, girl, black, white. It's about vibes. It's about people coming together under one roof to express themselves, so that they can, connect with each other on a level that maybe they wouldn't do in their normal lives.
Don't play style. Don't play style.
There's two levels to jungle. There's two rhythms. There's your slow swing, just down there from below from the bass, and then there's your fast rhythm on top, and the two of them work together. And so people have got two levels to dance to. They can come off maybe the start of the night and they're just easing in, just swing with it, but then maybe once, just drop it and just think, yeah!
The tunes like the heavy B lines in it, just do, and you just listen, check, test, program, one empty, take me at the computer done, and ride through that, and then if it goes off in a different direction, then you take it up to that direction, because jungle tunes, they change. You can feel the intro when it's building up, and then the set tune, and then the outro, and you chat in that sort of like rave band, to intro, you sort of like explode, and then when the tune's running, you give them lyrics that they can just ride to, and then when it's coming out, then they know the next tune's coming in.
Stop them, but we are gonna stop them, bow. Make them sort out of the problem, bow. Rush them, not physical, lick them, bow. Original moves, make up a big them, bow. Walk on them to deco with the lyrical flow. All they get to you and the better round right now. They will get down the body, vocalist flow. All they get to you, be ball, put a Bible. Put a Bible, 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 come on away. No put the Bible, no put the Bible, no put the Bible, no put the Bible. Bad boy bow. Listen down up and with the dub plate flow. All they get to you and the better run right now. Walk on them today, they on the freestyle show. Get to you, put a Bible.
We've got like musical heritage, like through hip hop, funk, soul, all them kinds of music. We bring it together under a new platform, the breakbeat, you know, the drum and bass.
That's the good thing about jungle. It takes jungle and drum bass takes from everything, not just one place. There's not one star. There's all stars.
Oh God! Yeah! Oh, hey, hey, oh.
Ruffneck is rough music. The music is hard, it's fast, it's dark, you know. If you ain't accustomed to it and you come in the jungle dance, you might think, wow, what's that? You know what I mean? But that's what we like, that's what the people come for. They come for that heaviness, they come for the bass that hits them in the chest. And it's that rough element, it's the rough edge that people like. That's why we call it Ruffneck Ting.
Ruffneck Ting. Boom!
Not really too bothered about what it's called. It's just carrying on making it and playing it, you know what I mean? As long as it's got at least 160 BPM. I do like the harder, bouncy, kind of lively stuff as opposed to the deep kind of smoking music that a lot of it is like. I do like the sort of jump up style still, even though it's not quite as fashionable as the drum and bass style. But that's where my heart is really in the lively stuff. The stuff that gets everyone going, hey, hey, hey. I had a lot of friends that were involved in clubs or DJs or what have you. So every now and then I managed to sneak a go on their decks and thought, oh, I like this is fun. I had an accident about 4 or 5 years ago and got to compensation, and immediately the check arrived. I ran off and bought some decks. And I met a lot of people through being into what I was into, and kind of we came together as a group, and they supported me all the way, and kind of it's been not easy, but it's been kind of a constant move towards getting somewhere with it, making a career out of it. I was into like acid jazz. I used to go to the Cooker and that. Basically anything that had jazzy sounds in it and beats and bass lines, and you know, I was never really into the sort of horrible hardcore that was just noises and electric and everything. So it's got to have a bit of soul to it. And I don't know, I wouldn't class myself as a music expert. For the past 4 years it's just been breakbeat jungle, and I haven't really looked anywhere else for my music apart from when I've been getting samples and stuff. But I know what I like, you know, it could be any kind of music.
Ruffneck Ting. It's also a record label. It's an outlet for our music that we make, and how we express ourselves. You know, Dazee makes her own tracks. She plays on dub plate. You know, she travels around the country, plays her own music to the crowd. You know, and people can really tune into that. Well, the music I produce is drum and bass, breakbeat based. When I come to make a track, the bass has got to be original. The sounds have got to be original. The breaks all got to be original, you know. Everything in there has got to be fresh and clean because things move fast. We're just into experimenting, we're into making things, pushing back the boundaries. We ain't content with just taking sounds that people have already used. We're always looking for something fresh, something new. We're just getting deep into our equipment, you know, deep into the sampler and doing some things, twisting some things up in ways that maybe people hadn't thought about before. Just getting sounds, basically whatever sounds good, you know. And that's the way this music's progressed so far and come so far and spread so wide. And that people at every stage are always pushing back the boundaries.
Open up your eyes, eyes, eyes,
With the DJ Krust, representing the full cycle. Reaching out to each and everybody on the dancing, messing the dancing through. As we get hotter.
21st century soul. It's future music. Last night we played in a club and I said to Ronnie, we have recreated the vibes from the old days. And everyone's talking about, you know, the old days. You never have the old days again. You'll never have those days. But what you might have, or what you can have, are the same vibes which were around when everyone was happy and everyone was kind of smiling and it was fun to go out and you wanted to go out. And I thought last night we created that vibe and we created that same atmosphere.
Saturday night inside Easter, that's what's going on. Reaching out to all the Bristol message. Now tell me what you gonna do. What you gonna do?
What makes a good DJ? Knowing what the crowd wants, knowing when to drop a certain tune, knowing how long to keep a mix going, knowing even like what to mix. You know, you can't actually assess a situation without actually being in that position on the night with the next record lined up. And I go in there knowing I'm going to have to just do my best and remember how the crowd are going to react, how to break them in, how to introduce them to what I'm about to do. And I have to sort of warm them up. You know not to just go straight in and play something real off-key because they're only going to know the tunes that they heard last week or from the last DJ. So you're going to go in there and play something that, you know, at the 21st century, you're going to lose them. So you reel them in slowly, you play them a few tunes that they might know, and then you draw them in, you go to the next level, you get me play a few different other tunes, you mix them in, you make it subtle, you make it smooth, you trick them, you get me, you get their confidence, and then just when they think it's safe, you get me, you switch on them. You give them something totally different. You get me? And then all of a sudden they're like, what's going on?
I ain't ready for the DJ Krust, listen. I say get ready for the brand new beats, get ready for the brand new bass, get ready for the brand new beats. I say get ready for the brand new beats. I say get ready for the brand new beat, get ready for the brand new bass, get ready for the brand new beats. I say get ready for the brand new bass. DJ Krust, inside the place, MC Dynamite, yes on your case. Time to move your body cause there's no time to waste.
Different DJs have different things. Me personally, I like to mix. I like to just blend the music and not necessarily break it down. I like to just decide, I'll decide when there's a break in the music or when the music stops. And that comes from, having the skill. When I used to mix hip-hop and other forms of music, house, I took pride in mixing it for as long as I could and holding the mix. Then took that with me to form a music which I'm involved in now.
Get ready for the brand new beats, get ready for the brand new bass. With a full cycle pace. For all the messing with the stem and the bandits. If you can't take the pace, pull over. Serious message, we'll send it. Watch the music, watch the flow.
Dominic, man, we found him at some little country rave. I've been to gigs with him, and people are not even interested in me. They're not even interested, they're just looking at him. He's just got a tone and a level, and speaks very clear, very loud, very precise. I think he's got a certain vibration in his voice which makes everyone feel comfortable with him. You know, and girls want to wet their pants. You know. And he's capable. He's got a very good range of lyrics, very good range of styles. You know, he's just not afraid to stand right at the front of the stage and actually do what he does best. He is good, and he's the best yet to come.
Have you got the stamina? One question. Have you? Have you? Hey, 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 hey. Have you got the stamina? Have you? Last one from DJ Krust.
We're just going to concentrate on just taking our music, you know, a little bit further to the left, or, you know, a step off key, because, you know, that's where we find our grooves, that's where we find our beats. You know, the label today is, like, well, for instance, they're in there right now. They're just working on a project which is like, it's called Scorpio, which is kind of like another off-key shoot of you know, Roni Size and Die on our label. And we're just going to take the music to another level.
You can't pretend that the production of records is comparable to the production of paintings in the Renaissance, you know, or the artist starving in his garret in the 19th century. It's a group production, and it's something that goes through many hands. In that, I think one of the strong points of the Bristol sound artists is that they have worked in kind of in groups of people who often argued with each other, so that what you get is a kind of compromise. Roni Size, I think, at the moment is teetering on a very interesting ledge, and that he's made sounds that are original, in that he's developed a kind of a formula or a style of drum and bass or jungle that is different to other stuff that's out there. And it's less metronomic. The snare never falls in the same place twice, and it's got that kind of rough, crusty thing that lots of the Bristol sound artists have had. But I think as to where he's going, there's no song structures there. And that at a certain point, I think music has to move into, at least if it's going to be popular, it has to move into conventional song structures. And you could say that that's one of the reasons why Massive Attack and Tricky and Portishead have become popular, whereas Smith and Mighty haven't. Although Smith and Mighty have had problems getting stuff released. But Massive Attack, Tricky and Portishead have dealt pretty much in songs, things that can be recognised as songs, that can be played on the radio. The problem with something like Roni Size and with Smith and Mighty's Jungle album, there's not identifiable songs there that can be picked up, that can be whistled and all the rest of it. And I think for music to become popular, people have to have songs, they have to have something that they can whistle in order to have a real purchase and a sense of identity with the music.
Look at me, can't you see that I must go? Try and see what I needed was to go. Open your eyes, say your goodbyes now, baby. Say your farewells.
I'd like to mix the house kind of styles, because it's usually so static, like, you know, straight beats like that, with junglistic breaks, you know, that have got a bit more rhythm. And I just like being creative. I like trying out new things, you know. I met Henry and Louie through a friend of mine, Peter D. He's half and more rockers. And he was like, yeah, he knew I'd been writing songs. We'd known each other a couple of years. And he's like, well, they want some vocals on a track. They've got a track here. So I went down, met him, listened to the track. Can you do something to this? Yeah, safe. Went home, and on the way home wrote the song you just heard, Rainbows. obviously it didn't start out as jungle, drum and bass, whatever you want to call it. It was more dub. But then as it like progressed and like we wanted it to be the first single, we got the different mixes and we got the kind of hip hop weighty bass mix from Smith and Mighty, and Henry and Louis did a more dubby version of it as well. So it's just kind of crossed over a few borders. As a kid I sang in choirs and stuff, you know. I mean, I started writing lyrics when I was 12, 13, and I was living in Scotland at the time. Really remote, beautiful place, and there's just a lot of time to just relax. I came to Bristol, I was 14, didn't know anything about this Bristol scene, you know. It's like, what's going on? There's loads of parties and, you know, it was like, yeah.
Big up the dancing step.
The figure of the DJ, I think, quite amusing. The DJ, I mean, there's just DJs everywhere all the time. You can't go to a cafe now without some kid like this one. I just wrote something kind of taking the piss about the idea of an old people's home, you know, in the future, where you've got like this kind of DJ association outreach worker going out and talking to all these kind of incontinent old DJs, and they're all still going like this and like that. But I mean, everyone is a DJ. Bristol is a city of DJs.
No need to get upset. DJ play nights and mix up the deck. With a dancing step.
These guys used to find an abandoned building, go into the building, spray the building, clean the building out, set up a bar. All right, maybe it's a bit illegal, get the sound system, but that's constructive, that's positive. That ain't going down the road and mugging some granny, breaking some yard, do you know what I'm saying, and things like that. And people look on the negative side of it, they talk about the drug aspect. Talk about the 5 or 10 people who put it together, got the flyers together, put it around, advertised it well, you know what I'm saying, put on the event and did it right. And got X amount of people there who had a good time, get them off the street as well. Tell me what's the problem with that? We play our own stuff, a mixture of other people's stuff, a varied selection, whatever is required for the evening. You know, people are like this, then we'll play a bit of that. If they like a bit of the harder stuff, we'll play a little bit harder.
Trying to do the album for next year, and hope to DJ out quite a lot around Europe and everywhere else.
Around the world, basically.
Yeah, because it's getting really big now, the drum and bass scene, and everyone's going to Europe and Canada and Japan
and States,
everyone just
everywhere.
DJing, and that's what we're hoping to do as well.
We want to experiment more, we want to expand, we want to build something for Bristol, we want to try and, you know, push an industry this way.
We've been a powerful force in bringing drum and bass to the people of Bristol. You know, we've got off our asses. You know, we've made it happen, and now the next step has got to be worldwide.
Make me hear your crew. Oh God. Keep it moving, the jungle sound, listen on the run, just to get down, keep it moving. The jungle sound, listening to the echo with the lyrical pound, keep it moving. Kev, keep it moving. Rage, keep it moving. Monty Blind, keep it moving, 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 moving.